A troubled marriage has come to a violent end inside Deaconess Medical Center. That's where Spokane police say a husband shot his wife, then turned the gun on himself. We have KXLY4 in-depth coverage of the Deaconess shooting. Kylee Cruz spoke to a woman who was there when the shooting started. But first, Jeff Humphrey, who was the first reporter on the scene this morning at Rockwood Cancer Treatment Center. Jeff?
And Nadine, it was about 9:38 this morning that the first calls began coming into 911. People up on the 7th floor of the Deaconess Health and Education building told dispatchers that a man armed with a pistol had gunned down his wife in front of her co-workers. Police and firefighters came from as far away as Spokane Valley, concerned that a gunman inside a hospital would find plenty of easy targets.
I was kind of wondering what was going on, why they would need paramedics and fire trucks for a hospital.
Officers raced to the 7th floor cancer care center, where Sarah Levine had barricaded the door of her mother's room after hearing multiple gunshots.
I sat on the bed against the door and laid stretched out so he couldn't get in.
Meanwhile, the Spokane Fire Department's new rescue task force, paramedics wearing ballistic vests and helmets, worked their way toward the shooting victims.
3 teams in total up to the 6th floor, staged them in a stairwell. As soon as the area was rendered safe by the police department, we moved those assets up to the patients and they immediately started care.
Unfortunately, the unhappy husband had shot his wife multiple times, and even though the rescue task force packs in advanced medical care, they were not able to help her.
The preliminary information indicates this was a husband and wife. The husband came to his wife's place of employment, which is in this building here, and shot her before turning the gun on himself.
The murder-suicide happened so quickly the building was really never evacuated, so most patients with their own medical needs were still able to keep their appointments.
The only thing we have shut down, the police have shut down at this point in time, is that particular suite in which the shooting occurred. Access to the building is not restricted in any sense by the police.
And Nadine, as soon as investigators realized this couple had children, they used their police chaplain to notify their guardians. This morning, these kids had 2 parents, but tonight, because of the selfish actions of their father, they don't have any parents. Report, Nadine.
Jeff, do we know anything else about this couple's marriage?
Well, until either the medical examiner or Deaconess releases the name of their deceased employee, it's kind of hard to go through court records and find either protection orders or things like divorce proceedings. We have heard that either the Spokane Police Department or the Sheriff's Office may have responded to a domestic violence call at this couple's home. We are hoping to have more for you tomorrow so we can learn from this tragedy and do a better job of anticipating and preventing domestic violence.
All right, thank you, Jeff. And it was a terrifying morning for those on that hospital floor where the shooting took place. One woman even barricaded herself in an exam room when she heard the shooter was inside. KXLY4's Kylee Cruz live now outside Deaconess tonight with her account of what happened. Kylee?
And Nadine, Sarah Levine is already going through enough. She just found out her mom has cancer, and today was actually her mom's first appointment here at the 7th floor of Deaconess. That appointment, though, cut short when a gunman entered their floor and opened fire.
Deaconess Hospital turns into a scene out of a movie as a man walks into the 7th floor, kills his wife at her place of work, then turns the gun on himself.
It was like a dream. At first, I couldn't believe what was happening.
Sarah Levine was sitting in a room on the same floor of the shooting. We caught up with her a few hours later at her home.
We heard footsteps and screaming, and the nurse came running into our room and said, "There's a gunman. Get down and don't open the door."
Her 2 young kids, just 2 and 6, also inside.
So I grabbed my kids and I pushed them into the corner, turned off all the lights.
She quickly jumped into action. Her focus, protect her boys.
I grabbed the bed and I pushed it in front of the door, and I had them pretty much under me, and I was stretched out from the wall to the bed so that if he were to try to come in, he couldn't.
At the time, Levine had no idea the gunman was there to kill his wife. She thought he could be out to get anyone.
I've never had that experience before with somebody in a building with a gun shooting.
But Levine knew she was getting out of this hospital alive with her 2 boys in tow.
A mom's instincts are pretty intense. and all I could think about was my kids.
Hours after the shooting, Levine is still shaken up, but doing much better. Tonight, she's holding on to her kids extra tight. Their young eyes have seen way too much in just one day.
And Sarah Levine wants to say thank you tonight to the brave nurse who went inside their room and alerted them of the gunman, putting herself in harm's way to let them know what was happening. A very tragic day here at Deaconess Hospital. Reporting live tonight, I'm Kylee Cruz, KXLY4 News.